Today we're going to open up the PYD Live 3D Vacuum Sublimation Tray and Pump Set. We're going to unbox it, set it up, and give it a try. So let's get started. Okay, first off we have the user manual. This looks like it's some sort of template. Then we have the vacuum pack here. Well, that's the tray, I guess. And here's the pump. And some tools and accessories. And then here's some kind of tray stand. Okay, so this has a little bit of weight to it. Everything looks very sturdy and well made. Okay, so I looked at the manual, and here we have what they call a perforated paper. And then this is a silicone wrap. We have some sealing cloth. And I think these are also sealing cloths. We'll have to see what we use those for. We have an air hose. There's two of them there. And actually this is the sealing ring. Here's two hoses. This is a filter. We have our suction device. A rubber stopper. A screwdriver. Drill kit. These are for the handle, I think. Another plug. Clamp, hose clamp. This must be part of this thing here. And a hole punch. Okay, I'm going to move this stuff aside and get my workspace cleared out. I'm going to bring over the sublimation oven. And this is to be used with the 25L sublimation oven from PYD Life. And then we'll get this all assembled. Okay, so I moved the oven over to this cart where it gives me more area to work and give you a better view of what I'm doing here. And so I already started by putting the template here on top of the oven, on the back of the oven. These holes here are to let you know which way to put it. So the first step is we're going to mark this center hole with a marker. Okay, so I have the hole marked. Okay, so this is where this drill bit comes in. It's 13 mm. I'm going to go ahead and put this on my drill. There is a little wire here. You're going to want to remove that. I think that's just for shipping purposes or for not, so you don't get hurt with that tip there. So once we drill the hole, we're going to go ahead and plug this in, and then the hose will go on the end of this. Use your lint brush to pick up all the little metal shards. It's going to be the easiest way to do that, I think. And also, when you're using the drill bit, just take it slow because it does tend to catch. Just take your time. Also, don't forget your eye protection. I'm wearing my glasses, so just don't forget to do that. Okay, you're going to want to make sure you take the metal piece out of the inside of the oven. And I'm also going to clean this tray out because I don't want any of these metal shards in my oven. Okay, so how we put this in that hole is we're going to take this apart. It comes assembled. You might need a wrench to start loosening this up to get this nut off. So we're going to take this off. And then it comes with two washers. So we're going to put this part inside the oven, and then this part will be sticking out. Then we'll put the washer on top and then secure it with the nut. I'm just gonna secure it with this wrench, tighten it up a little bit. So now we're gonna connect one of the vacuum hoses to the end of this spout. We're gonna get the hose clamp, and then we're gonna switch the screwdriver over to a flathead, and then we're gonna tighten the hose clamp around the hose. Just tighten it up, and you wanna make sure you're not tightening it over the threads. You wanna tighten it over the end of the hose here. Okay, so we're gonna get the filter. We're gonna connect it to the end of the hose. You just do that by pushing this end into the end of the hose there. And then you're going to get the hose that's connected to your vacuum, and you're going to connect it to the end of the filter, this side, like that. And that's all you have to do to assemble the pump with your oven. So now let's test it out. So when you're not using the pump or the vacuum system, you're going to want to go ahead and plug the hole. So you'll take this apart and then plug the hole with this stopper that they give you. They give you 2 of them. Okay, so the vacuum tray already comes assembled with the sealing ring, the sealing cloth, and another sealing gasket thing. And I think they gave us extra of everything. The instructions say to punch the holes and match them up, but this is already done for you for the first press. So we can go on to the next step. We are going to be sublimating some flat surfaces, so we will need to take out these base plates here. They're really in there. So just grab your screwdriver, make sure you're using the Phillips head end of it, and these come right out. And you're going to want to take both of these out. You'll use them for other things like curved substrates like shin guards or things like that. So, but for what we're doing, we don't need them. So those were a little tough to get out, so I ended up using my own screwdriver to get a better grip. So once you have those out, you're going to use these little cloth sheets that they included in the kit to cover those holes. Okay, so now we're going to preheat the vacuum tray. And we're going to set the timer. We're going to be using Slate or sublimating Slate. So we'll use 365, but we're going to do it for 10 minutes. And then we're going to go ahead and put the tray inside the oven and preheat it. Make sure you take the tray out before we turn it on. Actually, I'll leave that open so I can put the tray in. Okay, so we're going to put it on the top rung here. Slide it in there. And then we're going to preheat it. Okay, we're going to try these Sublimation Slate plaques. There's a sublimation coating on top, and I have my print printed on PYD Live sublimation paper on my Epson F170 sublimation printer. I'm going to go ahead and center this on the design and then tape it down with some heat tape. Make sure you have your heat gloves ready. Okay, and then go ahead and take it out. It's at temperature. I just paused the timer. I'm going to take this out so we can put our substrate inside. And then I'll put it on the tray next to it. Okay, I'm going to open this up and then I'll put our substrates inside. So we start by putting some sublimation paper down. I cut it down to fit, and then we'll put these, actually put them face up. I'm going to do 2 at a time. See how that works. And then 1 more sublimation paper on top. And then I'll close it up and we'll put it back in the oven. We'll start the timer up again. to close it, you push the handle up like that and it clamps it down. So I'm just waiting for the oven to go back up to 365 degrees, which shouldn't take very long, and then we'll put the tray back in. I increased the timer to 11 minutes just so I have some time to get the tray into the oven once it hits temperature. It's hard to grip with these gloves. Go. So once you have the tray in the oven, go ahead and press the vacuum button. So the idea behind the vacuum system is it applies the pressure by sucking out the air of the oven, and the silicone kind of wraps around it to give the pressure needed for these flat substrates. So here is the manual where it shows what we can print with this: phone case, earphone case, shin guards, plates, and photo slates. Also like the scrapers, the craft scrapers, the ornaments, ceramic, and glass. I'm really interested in trying the phone cases and the plates. I don't have any use for shin guards or earphone cases, but I would need to get some sublimation film, which I will look into getting and try those with this system. So you can see that seal broke when I took it out, but that's what it looks like. I'll put it on the tray to cool. So just carefully open it up. And this is why we use the sublimation paper, but it looks like the ink still went onto the silicone, which that kind of stinks. That seal was so good that it actually broke through the paper. Then, let's see. Wow, that's pretty good. It looks just as good as the ones that I create with my heat press, my regular heat press. These gloves are so hard to work with, but they do keep your hands free from burning. That looks great. Let's check out the other one. These are so hot. These gloves really do help. Look at that. Perfect. There isn't any places where the ink did not get sublimated. It went all the way to the corners, which is hard to do when you're using a regular heat press. I mean, they're even sublimating all the way on the side wherever the coating was. So it's really seamless. This looks great. It is a little more effort to do this as far as, preheating and all the setup. But I think if you are going to do these a lot, this is the way to do them for sure. And I thought I found a heat press that was really good, but this is actually better. Okay, just so you can see the comparison. This one I did with a regular, actually auto heat press. I was very happy with the results. It came out very nice, even colors. But if you look at the side, you can see that there are some parts that are still white. That's just the coating that they put on top of the slate. Now let's look at the one we just made. If you can see, maybe the cameras can't catch it, but the ink is going all the way to the edges. It's even going to the side. This is still very warm, but you can see there's no white sections. it's sublimating all the way around because it has such a tight seal with that silicone in that vacuum system. So if you're in the business of making slates, I highly recommend this method. It does take some time, but you can do a couple at a time. So it will take 10 minutes to do 2 in this system of this size, while it takes 8 minutes to do 2 with my auto heat press. But again, this actually yielded better results. To me, they look very professional. You would never guess that I made them or sublimated them. They look like they're store-bought. Okay, so I did get lots of ink bleed onto my silicone cover here. My butcher paper that I used was just too thin. I have thicker butcher paper, so I'm gonna make sure I use that with any other presses that I do, because I do not want this to get transferred onto any of my substrates. I can take this off. I'm gonna take it off. It's cool now, so I'm gonna take this off and see if I can clean off that ink, but otherwise I'll just be using some thicker paper. I hope you enjoyed this video where I showed you how to install the vacuum set from PYD Life, as well as showed you my first press using it on Slate. So if you have questions or you'd like to see a certain substrate used with this system, drop a comment below. And as always, thank you for watching, and don't forget to follow for more tutorials. See you next time.